Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball on College Baseball with me is Ernie Orange, and the World Series has already started. We haven't been on ever since, but we've been going on TikTok. So we are going to talk about Game One, Game Two. Of course, we're going to talk about Aaron Judge, and we're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani's injury and updates throughout the whole roster. But before we get started, how's it going over there, Ernie?
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. And we're having a great time here watching the World Series, watching two big monster teams like Dodgers, Yankees. We're having a heck of a time, man. What can we say? Dodgers are up 2-0, but it's not over. And the Yankees will be heading home now to have three more games. They still have a chance.
Dude, it's going to be scary for the Dodgers going to New York and changing weather because you're over here in 80, 70-degree weathers, which is good for your arm. You throw harder, you feel good, you loosen up faster. You go into New York and you go into 60, 50-degree weather, and that's a change. It's huge. Like a lot of people don't think that has a lot of impact, but it does. Baseball is played in the summer, not in the winter. So October baseball definitely does have a change, and you have to feel for it. So I mean, did you enjoy the first two games? I gotta ask that for sure.
Well, let's start off. What a game one. It was a classic game one. It's going to be remembered by a lot of Dodger fans going forward. You're talking about Freddie Freeman walk-off. They were just 1 out away from losing game one. And you have Freddie Freeman coming in the biggest moment. You walk Shohei. Aaron Boone goes with Nestor Cortez as a reliever who hadn't pitched over a month and gives up that grand slam to Freddie Freeman. Well, what were your thoughts? I know you were probably screaming like every Dodger fan here in LA. How did you feel after that home run?
I couldn't talk, dude. My voice left. I was screaming so much. I don't know. My neighbors, I saw my neighbors today. They were like, "Hey, man, what's going on in your house? Like, you guys having parties? And or what's going on?" Like, nah, it's just Dodger games. I screamed aloud. Like, it kind of felt, and I felt that was something special was gonna happen. It felt like I don't know, like that at bat was gonna be something amazing. Um, it's just crazy, dude. Like I never expected something like that for the Dodgers and for baseball fans, period. Like to experience something like that is not something easy. It doesn't come like every year. So when
Right.
you see it in the World Series and you see it happen as the first Grand Slam by any MLB team in 120 years of existence of the World Series, so it's amazing to see. It's cool to be a part of. Like it kind of reminisces a little bit. You said it, Kirk Gibson's home run, and it happened at the same time, which is kind of weird at 7:38. So a lot of things and a lot of theories come up, like, is this scripted? It kind of gives you that vibes, right?
Right. That was a special moment in Dodgers history going forward. Man, having Freddie Freeman hitting the biggest home run of his career now. I mean, like you said, it's been 696 World Series games, and we've never seen a walk-off grand slam. That's something special, something to talk about for the ages. And you're talking about a game one that, the Dodgers kept fighting. They were behind almost all game. They scored their 2 runs and sacrifice flies. Garrett Cole was dealing with 88 pitches. Boone decides to take him out and go into the bullpen. And then you have Flaherty, who made one simple mistake to Stanton, and he pays the price on his breaking ball and gives up the 2-run bomb. You're talking about a game that was evenly matched, and it came down to the extra innings, and that's something special to talk about. It's 3 consecutive World Series that we do go to extra innings, and man, baseball's only getting better with these two type of teams going at it.
Let me ask you this though, since you're not a Dodger fan, and but you live in LA and you do go to Dodger games, Angel games, all type of baseball games, and that's
Right?
what makes it sweet, right? You're a baseball fan. Do you see this being bigger than just the regular baseball fan? It's fans all around looking at these games.
That is correct. You have fan bases from everywhere. You're talking about people from different countries. The Latino community is watching different countries. You're talking about the non-casual fan is currently watching the World Series for the first time. You have people who never even cared about baseball watching. Why? Because you have these big name superstars going at it. You're talking about Shohei, the greatest player we have in this generation, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts. Man,
Yeah.
you're talking about this is a special World Series where we're getting the chance to see something great. And we don't see this very often as baseball fans. So we got to appreciate it. It was a heck of a game one. Like I said, it was something miraculously that happened for the Dodgers. And it's great if you're a Dodger fan, right? But if you're this Yankee team, it's hard to know that you're going back home being down 0-2 knowing that you're 1 out away of almost winning this at least 1 or 2 games. Because just
Yeah.
yesterday you had the bases loaded and you just needed one single to get the ball rolling and get the tie for 1-1.
That's crazy because I started thinking about how Aaron Boone made that pitching change, and you live by it and you die by it, right? So you kind of have to go through what your decision was and you made it through the game, and you kind of have to stick with it. You can't change it at the end of the day. Like everybody's saying, when your team loses, the coaches take that blame, and when you win, the players take the win, not the coach or not the manager. So with Aaron Boone, he didn't, question his decision. He went with him, and he did what he needed to do. It's just Nestor Cortez, like he hadn't pitched. I believe it's 37 days, more than a month, and he threw it where Freddie Freeman was waiting for it, a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. So he hit it to the seats. Now that same game, Aaron Judge had the chance to go ahead and make the difference as well. Like he had a chance to become a hero for the Yankees. Stanton did it. He did what he needed to do and prove that he still belongs in the MLB. And then you have Soto, which a lot of people say, like, oh man, Soto's easy to get out. Soto is not as tough out. Like, nah, man, that man has a presence in there. You have Gleyber Torres that he's still hitting the ball. He's getting on base here and there. He could get more on
That
base.
could
He
have
can
been a
change the
home run on
difference.
game one. Let's just
It
say
could
that.
have. It could have. We don't know that. But you can go back to 1996 in the ALCS, how Jeter hit that home run and the fans stick his hands out, and they got that call wrong. So now there's cameras and everything, and there's interference, and they made the right call, because if it had gone back to 1996, the Yankees would have won it. So I think, to be honest, I just feel like momentum for the Dodgers are pretty high right now going into New York. It's just like I said at the beginning, the weather's going to be different. They're
That
not used to
hostile
playing that.
environment is going to
Exactly,
be
it's going to be
different.
hostile. They were in New York with the Mets. They're similar fan bases, so they're going to be, kind of expecting to be ready to play in that atmosphere. But I just know. Let's get into Judge, man. I just feel like Judge is the one that needs to step up for the Yankees. They were saying other cast members from that team needs to provide the, I guess, the insurance and the hits and all that stuff. But I think Judge has been in that situation where he needs to come through to get, those runners over, move them over at least, or do something, and he hasn't done it. He's been opening it too much. I don't know if you saw Smoltz. He said
Yes.
that he's opening his hips too much, and you could clearly see that he's waiting for that fastball, but he's not getting it. So what does he need to do, man? Like, I mean, he needs to clear his mind to get back into the World Series.
And I think it's going to happen. I think him going back to New York for the next 3 games is only going to help him. Being close to home and, with the environment that he's already used to in Yankee Stadium, he's definitely pressing right now, and his timing is currently off. 6 strikeouts and some likes Judge. And I mean, you got to give it credit to the Dodgers. The pitching staff has pitched amazing to him. They've been hitting some crazy breaking balls that are almost unhittable. And I don't know what more Judge could really do to hit those bombs, but it's not happening right now. It's going to happen soon, though. And that's where the Dodgers need to be ready, because it is coming. And these next upcoming 3 games here in Yankee Stadium, Judge will get it together. And yes, he's had a rough start to this postseason, hitting 150. But, Judge will always come back to life and hit one out when you most need it. And it just sucks, man. I feel bad for the guy because he is an ultimatum Hall of Famer, an all-star. He's done so much for the Yankees the past couple seasons. He is an MVP for a reason. But right now, the pressure is currently on, and that New York media is eating him up, and the pressure is higher than he has ever felt it being in the World Series. So,
Definitely.
man, this guy better get it together, or else this Yankee team will not win,
Yeah,
Carlos. It all falls on him. We've talked about previous years how the Yankees were Judge dependent, and now it's falling apart. There is no Judge around, and it's sad to see because he deserves to be playing at his best level, and we don't want to see a star like that, underperform.
definitely. Ryan Reyes, how's it going, man? Heriberto, how's it going, dude? Neto, Chicks digs baseball too. Like, I mean, I loves baseball too. Like, thank you guys all for joining in. We're just talking about the World Series, of course. One thing that I want to mention that I do want to talk about is that when you look at the stats and you're looking at the box and you're looking at Judge's name, you're seeing those 5 at bats, only 1 hit, and then you go to game 2, and it doesn't even look that right. He has 3 Ks, and you said it's something that he's uncharacteristic. How's it going, Genesis? I'm seeing your post on here too. Sorry if I didn't say what's up. But everybody that's on here, definitely, we love that you guys are on here. But when you see those stats and you're looking through the whole Yankee lineup and you're seeing that stat right there, it kind of draws you in because he is not used to being and low performing, but he has been low performing throughout the whole playoffs. He hasn't done much. He hit a solo shot right in Cleveland, but other than that, there's not that much things happening with Judge. And then you talk about Stanton, he's been hitting home runs, and his only hit was the one that hit the base last night. So I just think that maybe Judge is pressing a little bit. He needs to go back to basics, think basketball, adjust to the curve type of thing. And if he does that, I think he'll be okay. But give a lot of credit to the Dodgers pitchers because a lot of people are not doing that. And that's where it's kind of crazy to when you hear these guys talking about the game after, the post game, you have your Jeters, you have your A-Rods, you have Big Poppy talking about them, and they're not giving these Dodgers any credit. They're just talking. It's pretty much a yes network in Fox, dude. So that's what's going on there. They're
Yes.
not giving the Dodgers any credit. You have to give the Dodgers credit, at least a little bit. Don't say that the Yankees are struggling or the Yankees are not hitting or Aaron Judge is just struggling. Like, no, they have a game plan. They're executing their pitches. They're doing what they need to do. They went and studied and they're doing it, dude. So Aaron Judge needs to go back and look at the videotape and see, okay, this is where they're pitching me and this is how I'm gonna approach that bat. Like I said, think fastball, adjust to the curve. And if he does that, that's the basic thing, man. So
Quick
for us,
question for you.
yeah, yeah.
Would you move Judge somewhere else in the lineup now that he's
No,
currently struggling?
no.
You'll keep him there?
We keep him there because he has to step up. He's been hitting there all year. Why are you going to
Okay.
change something that happens? It look, baseball happens in the weirdest way, man. Baseball, like look, Freddie Freeman hit a home run. He's limping. Gibson limping hit a home run. So uh, I don't know. Like they were talking about this all over the sports medias that they should change Judge, change him out of the lineup, probably give him a game to sit out. I'm like, no, like
No,
don't
don't do
do
that.
that. Don't you? Why are you going to do that? That's only going to make him a lot of, I don't know. This is going to make him not hit the ball right, or it's just going to make him get into his head more. So let him be out there. Let him control his controllables because he only knows what he needs to do. People could come and give you all the data and everything they can do to try to make him hit, but I mean, he's the one that needs to adjust to it, and he's the one that needs to make it because he's the one that's seeing those sliders and those fastballs thrown at him, and he kind of does look a little lost, dude. It's a good thing to see it. Dodger fans are seeing it, and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And Yankee fans are seeing it too. They're stunned that their star is not performing. So
Yeah, it's one of those, man. He's underperforming right now, but he'll snap out of it. I feel like the pressure is super high on him. I don't know what these old Yankee legends are doing to him, but the pressure is definitely on. I saw he had an interview with Jeter with Fox, and you could tell Jeter's putting a lot of pressure on Judge. Like, you're the captain now; it's your time to win.
it is
And
pressure, though. It is a lot of pressure
I,
from Jeter
yeah,
to him. I mean, when you were telling me, I was just like, dude, like that's not. I don't know. Is that something that they do in New York that they put pressure on their own players?
I think it does, man. I think you go way back into time, and I feel like every Yankee legend has dealt with it. You're talking about Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. They've all had to deal with the pressure of following the footsteps of another legend. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
And it's the Yankee way, right? They do the Yankee way. They did what they done before, and this is how they got to the 27, which is questionable. And we will talk about that later if someone brings it up. But we'll
Yeah,
leave it at
for sure. But
that.
let's go on to game two. What were your reactions for game two, man?
Game two, dude. I think Yoshi did good, dude. He pitched his lights out. He did it in July. I believe it was July when they went out to New York, and he pitched his ass off out there. He really did what he needed to do out there, and everybody thought it was a fluke. He did it yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I sat down and I watched the game and I was chill. I was relaxed. I wasn't like tense. I wasn't, oh, the Yankees are gonna come back on Yoshi. No. What I felt the most pain was when they brought in Trinan and he couldn't deliver. I mean, they did win 4-2, but when you have guys fouling your fastballs, your curveballs, everything you're throwing at them, they're fouling it off and they're getting hits here and there. That's what scares you. And that's where you kind of start feeling like, okay, they're seeing a lot of pitches from you. So now when you go to New York and they bring in Trinan and he's fully rested and he's throwing his 96, 97 mile per hour fastball, they're going to be expecting and seeing what he has. And that's the only thing that I saw that I kind of felt like, man, like this is crazy. The ninth inning was a little crazy. And then it got to a point where it was bases loaded. And then like, oh man, Freddie Freeman hit a grand slam last night. I mean the night before. Now last night you get bases loaded with the Yankees. Could it happen to them? It was
Mm.
possible. That I thought about it. It went through my head. I think every Dodger fan felt it. Did you feel that? Did you kind of feel like, oh damn, maybe karma's gonna strike again?
You know what? I didn't see it happening. Just the fact who was batting. Austin Wells was supposed to bat, which just had a terrible postseason in the batting area. But they brought Jose Trevino. I wasn't too happy with that move. I thought they should have brought the young kid Jason Dominguez, who has a lot of promise and has a lot of pop. And I think he could have made a difference, especially if he's your top prospect in the Yankees farm system. But man, talking about game two, it was a special one for the Dodgers. Like you said, Yamamoto dominated. Neto just brought up that, hey, man, at the end of the day, this guy is a rookie.
Yeah.
7 months later, he's dominating the biggest stage of the game. That's why he got paid $325 million. A lot of people question it in March, like, what are the Dodgers doing? That's a lot of money. Hey, man, he's showing why he's worth it. He proved it in the World Baseball Classic as well. And the Dodgers took advantage of a Carlos Rodon that, felt the pressure. The guy has been kind of shaky ever since he joined the Yankee roster. And ever since he took off that beard, he's never been the same. But
No.
let's just say him, that Yankee policy. I'm not sure if we were big fans over here at Real Talk Baseball. But Rodon has been, when he gets in his head, he's not the same. And the Dodgers
You can
took
see.
advantage.
You can see
Right?
he was in his head. Yeah.
Dodgers hit back-to-back homers with Teoscar and Freddie. And that was a different change of lineup, which I thought Roberts perfectly paid it. He moved Teoscar in the third spot, moved Freddie to the cleanup spot, and it worked out in his favor. And then you're talking about Shohei. Oh, my God. What is up? Subluxation? Never heard of that word in my life before.
I can't even pronounce it.
Well, let's just say I had to Google search it. I had to get a Google pronunciation because I'm not even sure if I'm saying this word right. But he basically pulled a joint, dislocated a joint in his shoulder. Looks like he is clear for game 3. He took some dry swings today. And we're not sure, man. Will this stop Shohei and the Dodgers? But I'll tell you this. The momentum shifted when he got hurt. This Yankee team offense, they saw this is our time.
Yeah.
Shohei also has been very quiet this postseason. Well, not this postseason, but this World Series alone, he hasn't really done much for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's been the Freddie Freeman and the Tommy Edman show, if you think about it.
Yeah, so going back to the Carlos Rodon, because I do want to point something out before I go into the Shohei Ohtani. You saw that he was a little bit upset once Mookie Betts was at first before Freeman. Teoscar hit that home run, right? I think it was at that moment.
Yes.
When Rodon hit that, when Rodon was on stepping out, he was just looking at Mookie and he was like, damn, this guy's leading off too much. I have to throw a little bit more over there. So he got into his head, and you can tell he was speeding up his delivery. And if you guys saw or took time, because this is what I do sometimes. I take time of how long it takes them to throw home, and it did take like 1.4 seconds to go home, and the difference was when he was pitching, he was taking like a 1.8 seconds to throw home when there was no one on base. So he had to kind of rush it. He had to kind of change that mentality of like, need to get that ball home. So in case Mookie steals, we can get him out at second. So all those things come into play. So with Rodon, he couldn't focus on throwing strikes. And that ball, he left it there for Teoscar. Teoscar hit it out. And then by that time, Rodon got into his head. He got a little upset. And then again, you throw a fastball to Freddie Freeman, and what he did with it, he hit it to right field. So I think Rodon needs to calm his ass down when he's pitching. That's the only way the Yankees are going to be able to win in generations to come, because he is going to be a Yankee for a while. And Garrett Cole too, like he can probably calm him down too. Like, hey, relax. We still got a lot of game. Like 3 runs or 4 runs is nothing. You guys are the Bronx Bummers. So, but going back to the Shohei Ohtani, that's what I wanted to say about Rodon, by the way. Going back to Shohei Ohtani, I just feel like when I saw him there, a lot of people are saying, but he hasn't done anything. Well, he's a huge stress, I guess, a delivery guy. I don't know. Like when you go up there in the first inning, starting the game, you have to face Shohei Ohtani. And that's a stress level starting the game right away. And even if he doesn't do anything, those are stress level type of innings. And you get there and that happens, you can't take that away. So even if he doesn't do anything, it puts damage on the pitcher, dude. You
Right,
don't think
and
so?
he provides protection for the other hitters, and that's why they pitch different to Shohei compare how they pitch to Oscar and how they pitch to Freddie, and that's why these guys are taking advantage right now and getting fastballs down the middle, and they're taking advantage of it. Shohei never gets those, by the way. He
Yeah,
gets like nasty curveballs and nasty breaking balls, and those the hittable balls that Shohei and Judge are taking these days.
yeah.
Um, and it's the reason why Shohei should still play, even though if he's on 50%, he's going to make a difference and an impact in that lineup and the way the mentality the pitcher has to think. You think Clark Schmidt is going to, get it together with Shohei there? I don't know, man. It's one of those like you rather put Shohei there and put the pressure on Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, and those stress level, like I said, stressful. He's never felt that stress in the World Series. Like now the pressure. So I feel like the pressure is on the Yankees more than the Dodgers right now because they're going to Yankee Stadium. The fans are going to be loud. They're going to be wanting to you to strike out Shohei Ohtani, strike out Mookie Betts, and then as a pitcher, you're going to want to throw your fastball and say, you know what, here it is, hit it. You can't hit it. Guess what? I'm gonna keep throwing it down your neck and still get you out. So that's what happens. All these egotistic pitchers have it. They get to their head, but we'll see what happened tomorrow, dude. Because Bueller's one of those guys that like to pitch away from home too. He
Yeah.
likes people booing him. He likes. I mean, I don't know what. He's a different human being. I honestly think. Like, I don't think I can take people booing me and be like, oh, boo, I've never been in that situation like that, so I don't know until I feel it. Then maybe I'll be like, damn, I guess I do like it. So I mean, who do you think is gonna strike first tomorrow? Because it's the weather. You
Oh
got
man.
Bueller. You got two pitchers that are kind of I don't know. I don't know how to put. They're not on their best performance, right? I mean,
All
Bueller
right.
is coming out of their best performance, but you know, well, go ahead.
We've talked about it all the previous show how Juan Soto's performing at a level we've never seen him, the way he approaches the plate, and with that right field porch, I think he's going to take advantage of Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler could be a little shaky this season. He's overcoming a Tommy John surgery. The speed and his fastball is not the same like it once was, and I do see Juan Soto taking one deep, and I do see Judge also getting one later on in the game. But it's one of those that I do see the Yankees winning game three. I'm sorry, Dodger fans. I know everybody in the chat probably wants to see the Dodgers win, sweep them, but I don't see it happening. It's one of those where it's two great teams going at it, and I feel like this star power that the Yankees have is going to come alive. You saw it already in the bottom of the ninth yesterday, how they were already getting it together. Josh Chiffelson is also performing at a high level. So I do see the Yankees overtaking Walker Buehler. And this is what concerns me about the Dodgers is because that bullpen game on game four, you're gonna put a lot of stress on these pitchers. Yeah, they're dogs, like Eddie Berto said. They've been pitching lights out, but it's a huge disadvantage for the Dodgers not having the starting rotation because the game 5 and 6, you need those bullpen rested as much as possible.
Yeah, because I mean, the good thing and the good news here is that they can go back. The Dodgers can go back home and still win it there. The bad thing is that you're going to be in New York for 3 days straight, and the bullpen is not going to get the rest like they're supposed to get. So I mean, who knows? Yoshi surprised everybody yesterday. He went 6 1/3, and he did what he needed to do. We thought he was only going to pitch 4 or 5 innings, and he did what he did. So with Bueller, we saw the two starts previously to this before he starts tomorrow, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's a huge concern for the Dodgers not having that fourth starter being there because Landon Mack is not it. He's not going to be the guy to eat up innings, and if he's going to eat up innings, it's because the Dodgers are losing by a lot. So then they're going to be in there and do it, or possibly winning by a lot. It hasn't been a blowout by any of these two teams. It's been really close these two games. One of the things I saw like on all over social media is the coincidence of everything. We talked about the time, and we talked about I don't think we talked about Vince Scully and Joe Davis making that call. She is gone, right? The score was 6-3. Fernando Valenzuela was 63, and a lot of people started putting and connecting all these numbers together. And I mean, do you, I don't know if I asked you this, but is that like something you think about when you're watching or you're looking everybody putting stuff like that, like putting all those numbers together?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how people come up with these things. It never crossed my mind when I was watching the
No.
game. But these are the special moments of baseball. And you talk about there has to be some baseball gods out there making a sprinkle into this game and making an impact because little signs like that that we see in the game is like, how did this even happen? How did this happen around the same time? How did the numbers even match? These are little questions that you do see, and like, man, there's something special, and there's some higher up watching us below watching these baseball games and making an impact just the way we want to see them.
All right. Answer this. And I'm gonna put you on the spot. Like I didn't even ask you this before, but I thought it's better if we just do it like this because I think I'll get your honest reaction. So the Yankees win if
Ooh, Yankees win if
yeah. You've been watching both games, right? So
yeah, I mean Yankees win if Judge back comes to life, and that's the big difference right there because they definitely need him more than ever, and especially being down 2 games, and you need your star to hit a bomb, and that's end of story.
cool. The Dodgers win if
And Walker Bueller pitches 6 innings strong.
damn. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, dude. Because if he does, I think the bullpen is saved. They're ready to go for game 4, and anything's possible. You get Jack Flaherty in full rest in game 5, and then whatever is left, it's starting pitching. It's no bullpen.
What are your
So
predictions for the upcoming games? Do you see what do you think about the Dodgers these next 3, 4, 5 in Yankee Stadium? How do you
so
see
they
it playing
have
out?
So they have a good I just see a huge momentum towards with the Dodgers right now. I'm seeing a huge momentum. They won 2 games against a big giant and they're going to New York. I know it's going to be different. You just said 6 innings from Bueller. It sounds crazy, but it's possible and it could happen. And if it happens, this is where the Dodgers are going to be, shoving it down their throat and saying, "Hey, we pretty much are almost at the finish line. We'll be able to seal this out. We might be able to seal it out there in New York, and anything is possible." But yeah, that Bueller answer you just gave, dude, I was thinking about it all day long. Like, can Bueller pitch 5 or 6? And I think 6 is the number, not 5, 6. 6 is the number because you don't want to put Trinan out there again in another game, which is he pitched game 1, game 2. Now give him a rest, give the other guys a chance to go out there. You got Bruce Gratterall that he did really good in game 1 that you can bring in game 3. So those are key things that Roberts, I'm pretty sure he's already thinking about. He already wrote them down. He has been managing the game a lot better than he has in the past. He's been doing so many things. He felt the pressure now that he's in the World Series. I think the pressure's a little off, but he's like, I ain't taking the foot out of the gas pedal yet. I still need to push down. I still need to get my players ready. I still need to push my players to get that World Series championship. And I think that's what he's going to try to do. Now, on the other side, with Aaron Boone, is he needs to stop making decisions based on matchups. Go with who you've been working with in the past games. I think analytics has a lot to do with it, but go with the gut feeling. Gut feeling is a real thing. When you see your pitchers throwing good, Tim Hill did pretty good yesterday. You saw him, right? He stopped them, and maybe that would have been the way it would have finished on game 1, but he decided Nestor
Yeah.
Cortez. So he just needs to change that
Hey
up,
man,
man.
you saw Tim Hill make a huge difference with Ohtani. Like Ohtani was not really feeling Tim Hill.
No,
Start,
no, no.
yeah, and for so it's one of those. Man, sorry, I'm getting distracted over here. Tony's over here making fun of me with a Dodger hat. It's one
What?
of those, man. I'm an Angels fan, but I'm an Angels fan, but I'm supporting the Dodgers this year. I'm a West Coast type of guy. I'm not gonna root for the Yankees. Come on, man. We don't want 28 from the Yankees.
No, we don't, dude. I didn't even see all this going on. What the hell's going on over here? I thought the chat was still
Sorry.
up there. Like, what? No one's putting the stuff up anymore. So, dude, I saw that Ice Cube came out at the beginning of the second game, and everybody in New York hated that, of course. But you saw Verdugo because he is the West Coast guy, and he was over there dancing in the dugout. And I mean, he pointed at the Yankees in that one lyric, So I just feel like it was due. I've been listening to Ice Cube all day, pretty much today. Has that happened to you? Anybody
Oh
out
man,
there today?
definitely, man. That Ice Cube music had us all pumped. It was over once he performed. It was one of those where there's no way you're stopping this Dodger team after Ice Cube performed.
Do you feel like New York's going to do the same thing?
Oh, they're gonna bring somebody. They're gonna bring Wu-Tang Clan or somebody. Nas, some JC. It's coming. Just be ready for it.
There's a lot of memes are saying that P Diddy is going to come out. You know, he's going to come and perform. But I'm
Oh
like, what the?
no.
No, those are bad memes. Yeah, he changed the lyric for sure, dude. He did change the lyric. I think he looked at the Yankees and said something about the Yankees. And I mean, if you guys haven't seen Straight Outta Compton, like there's a part where you have these New York guys going to I guess to in the studio. I don't know if that studio was in Compton, and he says like, "Get your New York asses out of here" or something like that. I guess he had some beef with some rappers back in the day, and I think he's still butthurt about it. So he even said "stankies," like so.
No,
I
no.
don't know, man. It's crazy. It's that East versus West thing again, and dude, they have been talking a lot of mad crap on social media. But some of it is funny. Like I just like the I guess the rivalry. I guess it's
Yeah.
funny. Some of it is funny. Some of it is like a lot of people are carrying that the New Yorkers were booing or saying, cheering when Otani got injured. So what, dude? Like they're fans, they want Otani to be out of the lineup. They want they're like, come on. If Aaron Judge was to get hurt, am I going to be like, oh damn, he's not there? Like, of course I'm gonna feel like, damn, Aaron Judge is not there. That sucks. But when you start looking, you're like, damn, that gives us a better chance,
I
you
mean, it
start
really does, right?
right. I mean, you can't be mad at that, dude. You're looking at the same. You're saying, okay, Otani. I think that's a respect thing if you really think about it, because that's how much you're cheering that. Like, oh, Otani's gonna be out of the lineup. Hell yeah, we got this.
Yeah, and it's one of those, right? Dodger fans, Yankee fans, they both have some crazy fans out there that do some wild shit. We all
Yeah,
know it. And
yeah,
and people will be like, we don't claim them, but at the end of the day, they're still part of your fan base. This is one
yeah.
of those. I do see Dodger fans doing the same thing. Dodger fans have time and time again done some
They're
shady stuff
brutal.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
And you've seen it from the Yankee fans too. So it's one
yeah.
of those where like it's gonna happen. Injuries happen, it's part of the game. And it's one of those, obviously, you don't want to see it in the World Series, but it does happen.
It does happen. And then I just want to add this: like Yankee fans even threaten Redon's wife. I don't know why they threatened her. I didn't see the whole story. I was hearing it just hearing it on the news somewhere, and I'm like, what? And when I turned, it was too late. But I'm like, what? That's crazy, dude. That fanism or being a fan of a team that doesn't even know you, like like
I
I
mean,
mean,
let's talk about the fan of Dodger Stadium game one. Had that not worked in the Dodgers' favor, Dodger fans would have been looking for him. Right now,
yeah.
nobody has an idea who even caught the ball.
Nah, they don't. He hasn't even come out and said it was me or anything. And at first, everybody was thinking like, "Damn, dude, that guy needs to get out of the stadium because they're gonna call it a home run." And everybody thinks that because of how it happened so many years in every different team. One that comes to mind is the 1996 ALCS against the Orioles. Jeter hit the ball to right field, and a kid took his hand out, and they called that a home run. So with that, I was paranoid. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, why? What did you do that? Why did you do that? Like, but then they called it a interference and they left it at second. So I'm like, okay, well then that guy needs a beer. Someone get him a beer. But I mean, not a lot of people were thinking that everybody was booing him, and the guy was scared for his life. He was like,
No,
man, he told his kid, get your shit, let's get out of here because
he
I don't
was
know what's
scared
gonna
for his.
happen.
Yeah, he actually had two kids. He was worried about their safety. He's like, let's get the hell out. And obviously, the security also escorted him out. But it was one of those scenarios. Had it not gone in the Dodgers' favor, and it would have affected Game One, and these people paying over $1,000 to see, but be seeing the game impacted by one fan, this guy's life would have been over. You're talking
Yeah.
about the Steve Martin all over again.
Oh man, you brought up the Cubs, dude. Martman, dude, that man. Oh, I feel bad for that man. But we brought it up. We talked about it because we were telling one of our coworkers, right, what had happened and everything. So it's amazing, dude, bringing up that old school thing so people can understand how much fans really get into their teams. And I mean, it's a game. Yes, I get it, but you need to be respectful as a fan. You don't want to be fighting. You're paying so much for a ticket and you're fighting. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, don't do that. It's supposed to be about family fun and about the memories. Like, he didn't get to see Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam. That's huge. That's huge. Those kids could have seen that grand slam, but I'm pretty sure people are buying them beers right now. You know, it's gear, man. The Dodgers won. Who knows what would have happened if he would have not caught it? It probably would have hit the edge of that of the wall, and then probably would have flipped into the stands, and it would have been a home run, right?
Definitely, definitely.
It's happened to that. So Neto's saying, "Give me a beer too, man." There you go. I'll give you a beer too. I wish I had a beer to go, man. There's 10 people on here. If you guys haven't hit that like, please give us that like right now. If you guys don't like what we're saying, post it on here. We'll definitely will love to talk about it. If you haven't hit that subscribe, hit that subscribe. It'll help us grow a little bit more, and it'll help us get more happy about what we're doing here. So my voice is leaving a little bit. Sorry, guys, but that Friday it was just super special to me. I think a lot of people too, and I lost my voice. So
All right, let me ask you this: how confident are you feeling about this Dodgers team? Are you seeing something special?
I am actually. I am seeing something special with this team. It's
It doesn't compare to the previous World Series teams have you seen, right, in the past 5 years?
it
Not the
doesn't.
past, like the
It
17,
doesn't.
the 18, the 20. It's different.
It's way different. It's like look, Jeter said it best. If there was anything that he can change in his career, it would to be in the World Series, Dodgers Yankees. And why is that? Because he knows how special that is. So I don't know if it's because the Dodgers are playing really good baseball right now, or just the fact that I'm hearing Yankees Dodgers, the two big franchises in MLB. I think that makes it even more special. So there's a cross of emotions, baseball fan, my team, a team that I respect, like the Yankees, because of Aaron Judge and all these historic players that have been in that organization. And the Dodgers with Ohtani signing them this year, all those injuries they went through, like all the excuses we have as Dodger fans saying, the Dodgers they went through all this stuff. Like, well, yeah, there's something special there. They've been playing together. They said it when they went to San Diego on that bus. They didn't go on different cars. They went together on the bus to hit that, I guess a different level of, this is my teammates. This is who I'm gonna win the World Series with. Let's bunk together, let's sleep together, let's play ball together, and this is what's going on, man. So I do feel a little bit of magic with the Dodgers, man. You as an outsider, how do you feel? Who has a better chemistry in these two teams right now?
I mean, you're talking about two teams that have been playing lights out this postseason and both shown to have great chemistry. This Dodger team has the advantage. So this bullpen, like the chat is mentioning, is pitching at a higher. Oh my gosh, Shohei, take my energy. This is wild. Eh, Give them your shoulders,
How does
Neto,
he come
please.
up with that? How does he come up with those drawings? Like, really? Neto,
Well, let's
man,
talk
you're a
about
genius at the keyboard, dude.
let's talk about it, man. This bullpen, like the chat was saying, it's one of the best bullpens we've ever seen. It's finally healthy and they're performing at a high level. It's a team that's been playing great. Just imagine you lose all these starters, and how the heck are you even in the postseason? It's not supposed to work out this way, guys. So
No,
this is why it's a special season for the Dodgers. If they go on to win the World Series, it's going to be a memorable one in Dodgers fan base history because
yeah,
man, you have like almost 5 or 6 starters out, and you still find a way to win the World Series. That would be crazy.
yeah. And then you have Tommy Edman and a late trade. You have Jack Flaherty, a late trade. Imagine if the Dodgers didn't have Jack Flaherty to be in that rotation. You'll be rolling with two starters, or probably three with Landon Knack, and then you will be in a different situation. We'll probably not even be here. So those trades are amazing that it happened. Um, I did want to ask you though, and since I talked about it earlier, but I didn't ask the question, and I want to make sure that we're not listening and being haters on Fox. Is A Rod, Poppy, and Jeter just talking Yankees?
It really does feel that way. It's kind of like an East Coast bias, and we need more West Coast in the baseball. Let's just say it out there.
Yeah,
I feel like every channel you listen to in baseball, it's all East Coast related. We need more West Coast bound fan bases talking about sports more these days.
yeah. Who can be out there for you that you think that can come off the top of your head to be that announcer that could probably possibly replace one of these guys?
I don't care, man. Bring a Giant, bring a Dodger, bring an ex-Padre. I don't care. Just bring some more West Coast faces to talk about baseball.
Dude, we have so many California native players in the World Series this year. It's amazing. It's crazy how many California born baseball players are in the World Series. World Profound, how's it going? Doyers, definitely, man. We're talking about it. Let me know who do you got, guys, in the chat. Put the team you think is going to win Game 3. We're not going to pick the whole World Series winner, but Game 3, tell us who's going to win it. Andre Ethier was there with Matt Kemp. How's it going, Karen? Yeah, Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp threw out the first pitch yesterday. We talked about Ice Cube pumping up the whole crowd over there. So I'm trying my best to try to see if we can get either Andre Ether or Matt Kemp. They haven't responded. I sent them a message. It'll be
What?
great if we can have them, dude. So if you guys are out there and know an email or anything that we can get onto them, like let us know, man. That'll work. That'll work. So World Profound is saying Yankees. Let's see who else. Who else? No one else put it, but because of bullpen. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow, man. Can't wait till tomorrow again.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I gotta give it up to the Yankees. Their bullpen is pitching pretty good as well. I mean, besides Nestor Cortez, who is a starter, other than that, all the other guys that pitched perfect have not even given up a run. It's only Nestor Cortez who gave up that grand slam. And think about it. You put him in a situation where he's never even pitched before. He's a
Yeah.
starter, and that's who he is. Early in the midseason, he was really upset with Aaron Boone and the Yankees for moving him to the bullpen.
Yeah.
And, he's proven that he's a starter. He shouldn't be pitching in the 10th and the starting.
Ryan Reyes is saying if Walker pitches good, like Ernie said, that we will go up 3-0. And it could happen, man. I don't know if we'll have to wait till tomorrow. Heriberto saying Dodgers. I mean, you should have gave me a little bit of facts, Heriberto. You can still put it on there and I'll let everybody know. And then Tony snaps over here. Dodgers because of Hernandez Bros. I mean, Kike is still hitting too. So he loves playing in the playoffs. Maria saying that go Dodgers, definitely. Let's see. Bird Eater was locked in. Yeah, he was locked in for game 1.
Hey, let me ask you that. 88 pitches. Should he
Yeah,
have stayed in the game?
definitely should have stayed the whole game. He should have
What?
gone the whole game. Why? Because you need to go. Oh, it's old school. What did I say earlier? Gut feeling. Gut feeling. He was dominating the Dodgers, dude. He
So
was.
Boone got a lot of backlash for removing him, but the
Yeah.
bullpen still held their own. And so my question is, did Boone take out Cole because he knows he needs him for game 5 and game 6? Like,
Well,
let me save his arm. And
he's gonna get enough rest. That's where I feel like his gut feeling should have been like, let me throw him here. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. Jeter and A-Rod, that's what I did understand from them that Fox post game that they should have kept them. That's why they're paying them the big money. He's trying to get you to that next level because remember, he is going to pitch twice in the World Series. He already
yes,
lost one. He lost game 1. Now you have to rely on the rest of your pitchers as for New York. Rodon lost. So now you have to rely on the other pitchers, dude. So you don't want it to get that far. You needed Cole to win one game or, his 2 starts, and then the Yankees would have been in perfect shape. But right now, because Cole has pitched game 1 and they lost, Rodon pitched game 2 and they lost. Now you're going to 2 different pitchers that you don't know what you're going to get out of. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm riding high a little bit because of that.
yeah, man, definitely. The pressure's on the Yankees. Ryan's asking what bet will come to life tomorrow. And like I said, I think Juan Soto for me. I know, Carlos, who you think? I mean, I would also say Tommy Edman for the Dodgers. Man, that guy
Tommy,
Tommy, Babe Ruth, Tony just said it. That guy is doing special things. Let's just say that it's something we've never seen. He reminds me a lot like of David Eckstein, an ex-Angel player that was there for big moments for the Cardinals as well. And he
yeah.
plays good baseball, man. I don't know, man. I have Juan Soto performing at a high level. What you think? Who's hitting one out tomorrow?
For
Or who's
tomorrow,
making the difference?
who's gonna make the difference tomorrow? And it could be either or do I pick a team a side or just
Either or,
all
man.
the either or? Okay, I just think that as crazy as this sound, because his shoulder, I think Otani's gonna step up tomorrow. I think it's gonna be his game tomorrow. He's gonna come out swinging. He's gonna come out just people are gonna be like, oh, he faked his injury. He faked it. He all this stuff, and I think he's just gonna do it. He's gonna come and hit that home run. and it's time for him to step up because it's gonna. I mean, I just feel like it's gonna happen, dude. I just
Quick
think it's
question.
gonna
So
happen.
you see
Yeah.
it happening 3-0 at the end of tomorrow?
You said it. 6 innings by Bueller, dude. If it happens, it definitely is going to be 3-0. It's going to be 3-0. If he's in fourth inning and he's at 80 something pitches, that's where I kind of feel like, I don't know. I need one more inning from you, and I don't think that's going to happen because he is a pitcher that throws a lot of pitches in the first inning, and that's what's crazy to me. So yeah, dude, you just hit it on the ball, man. That 6 inning mark, I think that's where we need to get him to. Uh,
Definitely,
uh,
definitely. We're talking.
yeah,
We have Neto here saying he loves Freeman all season. He's been all consistent all year round. Talking about he just mentioned today that his favorite team growing up was the Angels. How about that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He did. He
Hey,
did say that in 2002. He was all excited for that World Series,
so
which
do you
Eckstein
remember
was
your
the
first World Series?
yeah
Which is the first one that you watched growing up?
the first World Series that I remember, and I don't know if I remember the '88 World Series. Excuse me, the '88 World Series. If I rewatched it or I saw it in the living room or it was just a replay, I remember the '88 because they keep passing it over and over and over. Kirk Gibson hitting that home run. The one that I remember was 1990. I believe it was. Was it that the Blue Jays, or that was '91?
91 was the Twins.
'91 was the Twins. Kirby Puckett against the
Jack
Braves.
Lawrence.
I
Yes.
remember Kirby Puckett going over and trying to, and catching that ball in that glass out there. Kirby Puckett had a great World Series, so I remember that World Series. I remember Joe Carter, the Blue Jays going against the Phillies, dude. Joe Carter hit that home run. They called him the Wild Thing, and he hit it out, and they won the game, and they won the World Series. I remember the Braves winning the World Series in '95, I believe it was. Uh, dude, it's
Damn.
just so many World Series that I remember that were so impactful because the Braves were the '90s team, right? And every year they made it to the playoffs. Every year they made it around the World Series, and then you had the Yankees where you had these performances, or not even performances, but these things where interference with the kid, with that home run, that Chuck Knobloch dropped ball at second base, and they still called him out. Chuck Knobloch again dropping the ball at second base and still calling them out. So those little things I remember a lot from the Yankees. I remember, those interference and not having the replay in those years
Man.
really sucked, and it really worked on the Yankees' way. So I'm just saying that.
Well, I just want to give my first World Series was watching the Yankees Padres. But I don't really remember it that well. I was too young for it. But the one I do remember the most, I watched every single game, was in 2001, the Yankees D backs, and watching
Oh,
them take down the Yankees with Mariano Rivera in the bottom of the ninth. Luis Gonzalez hitting that blooper into center field to win the
yeah.
World Series. That was something special to watch as a kid. And it's the reason why I fell in love with the game of baseball. But man, talking about it, man, these World Series, and we talk about all these matchups, and it's crazy to think that 2024 we have probably the biggest matchup we've ever seen. Talking about since even then.
Yeah, since even then, dude, and last year we didn't have like the biggest markets in the World Series, but it was still a great one because you
It
had
was.
Seager hitting bombs,
He
right?
made a name.
Yeah,
He made a name for himself. Talking
yeah,
about a guy that is one MVP in the American League and the National League. It's something we will ever probably won't ever see.
yeah, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Shohei will be an MVP in both leagues, but it's never going to win a World Series in both leagues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless he gets traded later on in his career or he decides to leave the Dodgers because they change stuff up. But yeah, man. Another one I want to mention was the 19. You said the Padres 1998. You had it's
Tony
players with the
Gwynn.
Yankees that, I mean, they were really good, and then you had Tony Gwynn, playing in that World Series, which he never got a ring, which would have been amazing if they did. And it sucks that he didn't get that, but the Yankees were on the road those years, man. They were rolling. They were going to the World Series 3 years in a row, and then they got to the fourth, and the D-backs got in the way of that. And in the 2002 World Series, I was going to say, Eckstein, dude, he was batting ninth. If you don't
Yeah.
remember, he was another leadoff hitter. Mike Sosha actually had that leading off hitter on the ninth. You had your leadoff, right? And then you had who was that? Erkstad,
Darren Erstad.
Erstad was the leadoff hitter, and then you had Eckstein in the ninth. So then you had two leader hitters if you needed to face. So that was an amazing thing. It was against the hated Giants, and of course I wasn't going to go for no Giants. You had Jeff Kent in that batting Aurelia. You had Barry Bonds, of course. Who's going to forget that? So
We had a bunch of guys that we just didn't like. Let's just talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah, definitely, dude. But yeah,
Hey,
if
but
you
I want to
guys,
bring
yeah,
something else. Sorry. So everybody
yeah,
listening, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're going to try to get on this week to talk either game 3, 4, or 5. Let us know what day you would like us to see us, either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday post game. But I want to bring this question to you. I'm not sure if you saw that John Heyman just announced that Juan Soto, that the Dodgers want to sign Juan Soto. What are your thoughts on that? Would this
yeah.
ruin the game of baseball? And is it the
Well,
right time to bring up this rumor in the middle of the World Series?
uh, I don't like talking about contract stuff. Like I think you still have Teoscar Hernandez playing good with the Dodgers. I think he's becoming a fan favorite. I think if you
Yeah.
talk and look at Dodger fans, they'll say Teoscar is the one that we want. We don't want Soto because Soto's going to cost a lot more and it's going to limit us from getting pitching. But he's an amazing player from last year to this year, you can see Soto looks more respectful towards the game. Looking at the Yankees, I guess Aaron Judge did tell him like, "Hey man, you can't bring those antics from what you did in San Diego here. We're a respectful organization, and we deserve respect, but we also have to give respect to fans and to players. And you can straight up see it. Like he's a
Mhm.
different man, and he's playing the game really, really nice and he is a little, he's doing his thing still, which is amazing. But like, I don't know, man. I just Tony's saying we can't afford Soto, and I don't think we can either. I think that man's gonna ask for 600, dudes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying he's still young. He's turned 26 on Friday, right?
Yep.
Um, is this his 25th 25-year-old season? And he has 200 home runs, and if he wins the World Series this year, it's 200 home runs before the age of 26. You have two World Series championships, signing a free agent contract. It's going to be huge for him, and I think if he goes wherever he goes, I think the Mets are another team that are out there that are exploring, and maybe with the Mets, Juan Soto will be damaged. Damage. You saw how far the Mets got this last year, so I think that's a better fit for me. So yeah,
Okay. I just saw it kind of weird that John Heyman threw that out today. Out of all
yeah,
things, after being down 0-2, they're kind of feeling bummed out, flying back to New York, and you bring this report. I'm not a biggest fan of it. Bring it up on the off season when the players, have finally moved on from the World Series. Um,
yeah.
you know, he's a great player. The way he handles himself in the plate, that Soto shuffle is kind of funky, but he puts like pressure on these pitchers, man. He looks right there into their eye and makes them feel like you better throw this pitch or else I'm gonna kill one out for you. So, man, talking about Soto, man, he's gonna cost a lot of money. I don't see the Dodgers signing him either. They already have something special here at the Dodgers team, and there's no need to break up the chemistry.
Definitely not. And that the Soto shuffle is an intimidation thing. If you're looking at the pitcher and you're doing that, he's pretty much saying like, "Man, that's garbage. Give me your best fastball." And some people, like I said earlier in the show, some pitchers are egotistic where they're gonna be like, "I'm gonna give you my fastball. See what you can do with it." And Soto takes advantage of those fastballs, dude. And that's what happens. So that's a really key point for the Dodgers not to get Dodger pitchers to get into their own head and throwing that fastball down the pipe because that's what happened when he hit it. Yoshi threw it down the pipe for him to hit it out. He
Adam,
didn't execute his pitches where he wanted to, and that's what happened. Jack Flaherty did the same thing. He threw that slider or that knuckle curve in three different places, but that last one where San hit it, he didn't locate it, and that's what happened. He hit the home run. So
crushed
yeah,
it.
dude. Damn, we're approaching the hour, dude. We've been talking a lot of baseball. I mean, let's just go all the way since we only have 5 more minutes of it. But yeah, dude, it's amazing talking baseball. We went down memory lane with World Series and everything. Um, and it's just cool. Hopefully, World Series doesn't end so soon. Because then that means baseball's over. We don't get to see baseball. I just want to ask you, like, were you anticipating the World Series? Because it was a long 4 days. Remember, we were talking about it.
Let's talk about how long we had to wait for this matchup. I think it was a much anticipated matchup that we haven't seen in decades. And it was one of those like, we have to wait 4 freaking days to watch the World Series. This is not enough. And all we heard was MLB Network or other networks just talk about it
The
over and
predictions, right?
over and over. And I was like, can we just get to the baseball game, please? We were so bored at home. I mean, I'm sorry. I know basketball just started and football's going on, but almost half the teams already got eliminated. And we're ready for baseball. Let's talk about it. This is the best moment we've ever had in this generation, and we're all here for it. And I'm excited to see how game 3 and 4 and 5 play out in Yankee Stadium, because it's
Yeah.
not going to be easy for this Dodger team. Yes, they won the first 2 like they were supposed to at home, but this Yankee team, that hostile environment in New York, it's something special there as well. And these Yankee players are going to come fighting. And because trust me, Yankee media will eat them alive if they get swept by the Dodgers.
Yeah, it will. Look, forget the 43 years, man. That 4 days, I felt like there were 43 years. It felt like a long ass time without baseball. I was like, what the hell's going on? How come we don't have any baseball? Like, they should start baseball sooner. I think it had to do that Japan was gonna, if the World Series started on Friday, Japan will be able to see it on Saturday morning. You said 9 a.m. out there, right?
9 a.m.
Yeah, so I think it all has to do with that. They want to show, I guess, viewership out there to say, show, hey, he's playing in the World Series. We're gonna have more people going there, and it's been going there. They haven't have these ratings since 2017, and the World Series is not even over yet. There's still games to be played, and these games that are going to get played are going to have more views because everybody wants to see this. If you're not a Yankee fan, you're rooting against them. If you're not a Dodger fan, you're rooting against them. If you're saying you're not watching, you're going in the corner and you're kind of seeing secretly and saying, "Oh man, hell yeah, the Dodgers are losing or the Yankees are losing," right? So,
Right,
um,
man. And the
that's
ratings are
fun.
up there. I mean, you're
Yeah,
talking about game 2 already announced that there was 13 point something million viewers, as the highest ever since 2018 game 2 Dodgers Red Sox. You had over 1.24 million watchers on the Spanish Latino channel. So how about
yeah,
that? Even in the Latino communities, they're watching this high anticipated matchup between Yankees Dodgers. It's something special to watch, man. As much as even if you don't root for these teams, if you're a fan of baseball, you're watching something great, and you have to watch. So
definitely.
don't be that guy that's hating. I see a lot of fans saying, I'm not rooting for anybody. I just want to see 7 games. And that's how I kind of feel as well. I'm in the West Coast and I support you, Carlos. At the end of the day, you're my
Yeah.
homie. So I want to make sure your team wins. I
Same
know
if you were as if the Angels were doing it, do too, man. I will
exactly.
be the same way. And like I said to my cousins and everybody out there in San Diego, if the Padres were in this situation, I'll be rooting for them too. And I've said it on this show before. I've said it all the time. If a West Coast team is in the World Series, I want them to win. Why? Because we're the division that has the least World Series out of anybody. So we need to have more World Series on the West Coast. Even the freaking Giants, fuck it. I'm just like, God damn it. We need more World Series on this side because everybody criticizes the West Coast for not being a baseball town. And then you have all these baseball players in the World Series this year from California,
Yeah.
representing California.
And you're talking
So,
about most of these East Coasters don't even get to watch our games. They're mostly all asleep by the time any West Coast team is playing. So we got
yeah,
Heriberto saying if you're from LA rooting against the Dodgers, you're an automatic clown. There's a lot of those guys out here, man. Just look
yeah,
around, man. There's a lot of guys going against the Dodgers still. So, well, thank you
definitely.
everybody for tuning in. We had a great show here today. We're expected to get live pretty soon, one of these days, post game reactions. Also, check our new TikTok live. Carlos has been going on live on TikTok. He's a cool guy out there now these days. He's
Yeah,
a
right.
TikToker instead of YouTube. How about that?
Hey, you get on with me too, dude. So don't act like you're not doing it either, man. You get on there, we commentate about the game, and it's the same thing that we do here. We just do it on TikTok. It's just a little easier because it's from the phone. And here we got to get our mics and everything ready. And like we love doing it. We love talking baseball, definitely. Last mentions, Ernie.
Well, stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back, and hopefully, we'll see a special game coming forward because we've already got some great games this game 1 and 2.
Definitely, definitely. And if you haven't done so, I know there's 9 people on here, but make sure you guys hit that like and that subscribe. Good night, Karen. Good night, everybody. Anthony, Tony, Heriberto, Neto. From all of us here on Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball, this is Ernie Ernest. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.